All right, guys. I How's everybody doing? I am taping this broadcast, and we'll see how it goes. Hope everybody's doing great. Today it is July 5th, 2020, and the question posed for this broadcast is, how do we save the Republic? How do we save the United States from her biggest enemy, herself? Now, the times that we're in is being addressed as a problem that has just started. It is being addressed as a problem that is the blame of one person. I'm not going to say his name. And it's being framed in a falsehood, and the truth is hard to find nowadays. And you're not going to get the truth from the media, at least not the mainstream media. So the question becomes, how do you save the Republic? Because we are in dire straits. There are many dark forces among us. Those in media and those in politics have long since seized up the levers of power in both political parties, have become systemically corrupt, and have frozen out the working class people. Meaning that the working class people are not being represented, and when that happens, you lose the Republic, okay? And so the working class are the majority of people. Those who work and pay taxes are seeing their opportunity erode, and it's been building for a long time. The coronavirus was just the match that lit the tinder. But the truth is the tinder was being laid for a very long time. And so it is my belief, again, that both political parties have become systemically corrupt, and that if the same people who are in power currently get reelected again, the Republic will not survive, and it will collapse pretty quickly. Now, these dark forces seek to destroy us. Anyone who dares to oppose it, using critical race and gender theory to divide the lower classes amongst each other, instead of focusing on the real problem that the institution has created. And so these dark forces, again, seek to destroy those or anyone who dare to oppose it, using critical race and gender theory to divide the lower classes amongst each other. Even further, destroying the nuclear family and creating havoc and strife broadly throughout the population. Unity at this time has never been more important, and yet those in media and those in politics are succeeding at dividing the country against each other. And that is currently what's happening. Not to mention, there's a new tyranny forming that the previous generation did not have to deal with, but that I'm afraid this generation will have to contend with. And that is distrust and suspicion. So the difference for a long time between a free society and a communist society, dictatorship, was distrust and suspicion. So, you know, one of the telltale signs of a free society is how well this social trust is amongst the people. And one characteristic of a communist country is distrust and suspicion among its people. And I'm afraid you're seeing that characteristic now, currently, as we speak. And that is just terrible. This type of finger pointing is un-American and will destroy the republic. Okay? Have you been to China, where the gulags, hundreds of thousands every year, are locked away and never to be heard from again? Still think this is a racist country? Compared to what? I've always loved that question, because if there's a question of whether or not the United States of America is a racist country, the question has to be posed. Compared to what? You can't just point your finger and say this country is racist and destroy everything what made this country great without asking the question, compared to what? The only way to save the republic is to fix the problem, which I believe is unequal distribution of opportunity between the classes, and not necessarily of race, although the wealthiest people in the United States tend to be white. I also would like to speak on the rise in social media and manipulative algorithms and its role in destroying the republic. It is my belief that social media is having a devastating effect on grouping, communication, dating, love lives, society's ability to form families and community. And so, without the internet and without social media, many of these mobs that you see would not be able to form, because they would have no way of grouping together. Now, I'm not saying that these people don't have legitimate grievances. In fact, I believe they actually do. I just believe that the way they're going about it is wrong, and that the people that they're blaming are not the right people, and that by blaming the wrong people, you're not going to fix the problem. You're actually probably going to make the problem worse. And so it is not necessarily a problem of race, because being white doesn't make you rich. You could be white and from a poor working class neighborhood just as well, or you can be middle class in a black neighborhood somewhere. So the question of race, I think that's a lose-lose question. I believe it's more of a class division, in that these people, opportunity is no longer there. And these kids who are out there protesting know that deep down. It's just that they don't know who is to blame, because they are being bombarded with lies and falsehoods and finger pointing and the destruction of the country as a solution to the problem, when destroying the United States, is not going to fix the problem. And so I believe that the question has to be posed when asking if the United States is racist. The question has to be posed, compared to what? Because nothing could be further from the truth. The United States is probably the least racist country in the world. Yes, there is racism. Yes, there is hate out there. But when asked compared to what, you see that the United States currently is one of the least racist countries on the planet. And one of the few countries that actually allow things like same-sex marriage, that actually allow things like LGBTQ rights and stuff like that. Most other countries in the world do not have um, these rights for people like that. And so, um, you know, so I think the grievances of many of these people are legitimate, although some of the grievances are being used by bad actors, and some people are just there to destroy. That's what they're there for. And so what started out as a good movement has backfired and has been taken over by people who just want to create havoc and create chaos. And that's a shame. But I think the real problem is a lack of opportunity for both, for all races. It's a class divide, and we are finally seeing its effects on the. We're finally seeing the effects it's having, and it's not good. And if we don't address this problem soon, we're going to lose the country. So, it is my belief that social media is having a devastating effect on grouping, communication, dating, younger people's ability to form families, community, to have a stable household to go to live in a stable community among stable people, and this is not good. The majority of people need to be able to sustain themselves equally, whether you join the military or you go into the trades or you start a YouTube channel, you become a writer, whatever choice that you make, you need to have somewhat of a level playing field. And if you don't, then you're going to see what we see today currently, which is wealth inequality, which is opportunity that's not there for the majority of people coming up. And you know, what's happening is the unity is needed by the lower class people, by the working class. We need unity, but the media and the people in power are purposely dividing people in order to stop that unity from forming, in order to stop people from losing their power in government. And it's a very effective tactic. If you divide everybody amongst each other, then that secures your own power. And that's what you're seeing, I believe, on a daily basis, a 24/7, 365 cabal of division coming from both parties, both political parties, Democrat and Republican. So, if we can agree on that both political parties in the United States have become systemically corrupt, and that neither will save or neither will come up with the solutions necessary to save the republic. When we come to that realization, then we can begin to fix the problem. And until we come to that realization, we cannot address the many problems that we face going into the future. And so that's some of what I believe. Again, distrust and suspicion is a common characteristic when you in a communist country, and that's what they're succeeding in doing, is sowing distrust and suspicion. Very common tactic. Russia used that tactic, and there's been many people who've used that tactic. So it's characteristic of a communist country. All right, guys, I'm going to get off here. What do you guys think? Right now, I am in the South. It's really hot out. It's like 90-some degrees out, and I'm supposed to be leaving for Southern California in a couple of days, and it's going to be wonderful. I can't wait to get out, and it'll be good to get away for a little while. And I hope that everybody's doing well. But what do you think? What are your ideas? I'm curious to know what your guys' ideas are in saving the republic. For the working class, how can the working class survive when you have a tyranny brought on to you by the elites, who have basically frozen out the working class from having representation in the government? And so until that's addressed, I'm afraid the problem's only going to get worse. You're going to see wealth inequality, you're going to see homelessness, you're going to see mental health issues, you're going to see a rise in crime. All these things are going to increase over the coming decade if we don't address the simple fact that working people, meaning those who work with their hands or build skyscrapers or just do regular jobs, are more poor than ever, and I would argue don't have representation anymore. And until you address that problem, you're not going to fix the problems, the solutions to the problems, because what made America great was the fact that the majority of people could go out and earn a decent wage and not have to constantly worry and stress. And so that had stability. And this new phenomenon of just revolution is something that's new, and it's not good, and something's wrong. And I'm part of the working class. I'm not by any means a wealthy guy. I am not somebody that's come from money. So I very much know through my own experiences, and I've seen the job loss of the working class people. Devastating. And it's not being addressed. It's not being addressed in the political parties. Alright guys, I'm going to get off here. I hope you guys like this video. Comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you.